And we are streaming a little earlier than I said, but we're all done, we're all prepared, and we've gotten through practice, which was fun. It was fun for a few reasons, because I think Kevin Magnussen is sort of into the point where all of the reserve parts are basically about to die. Schumacher as well. I got so many warnings for new parts there, I even had to swap midway through the bad parts they're using. So I'm thinking that the practice in Abu Dhabi might actually be quite interesting when we do the final race of the season here. But here we are then. We got reasonable setup for this. If we have a look at the reports from practice... Is it here? Nope. Results. We can see that, importantly for our race, Bottas and Ocon both have a penalty. So that's presumably a change of gearbox or engine. So two of the cars that we are fighting against for fourth in the championship are going to be further back on the grid. This is going to be important because Sao Paulo should not suit us in terms of how I actually know it is a track. It is one of my favourite circuits, this one. And the fact that it's not on Project Cars is really a problem. Because again, I would love 24 hours around here, I would love to do. But hey. But apparently this is a slow speed dream, really. Only one high speed corner. So actually, it might not be the worst thing in the world for us, based on what it thinks the circuit map is. But this is a high speed, wide, fast flowing corners. Fast flowing circuit. Two important braking zones and corners are where all the lap time is. Turn 4, turn 9. I think it's turn 9. Yeah, get those right, you have a good lap. And then it's just full throttle into the S's. It's deceptively difficult, but I love this circuit. It's always a good race when you have it here. It should always be the season finale. The fact that it isn't is an absolute crime. Anyway. Let's move on, and let's start some initial qualifying. So let's see if anyone's going to get in our way. It's a short lap time, so we might get away with this. Nope, they're going to get in our way. Ricciardo and Leclerc. So I won't do a run around here. Call them in the technical point of the racetrack as well. Schumacher should be okay behind Ricciardo. 9/10, yeah, so I think Schumacher was okay, but Magnussen definitely held up. Just behind Alonso, Bottas with a good time. Well, I think we're going to be okay to send them both out on the same rub. We'll change Schumacher over. Yeah, Schumacher's less likely to just make it. I think Magnussen should. Sorry. Alright, let's spin time on and prepare for the final push. It's also going to be a wet race, so that's going to be fun. Also means we don't need... Well, we might need a set of softs. Depends. Depends exactly on what the rain is planning on doing, and obviously whether we can gain any advantage out of just having the softs randomly, but... Okay. This is reasonable. I think Mick is going to survive. We probably do want another run, though. Schumacher out now. Thankfully, he's gone out first, so we'll send Magnussen out last. Okay. Alright, meanwhile, let's... Oh, I've missed the start of a lap. We'll do a proper flying lap with... Do a proper flying lap later. Schumacher did gain a position, and that means Magnussen should be fine. But where is he actually on pace? Ooh, 11th, 12th. Okay, maybe we're not going to make it to Q3.
Company pit 3. Yep, understood. And white line, white line.
And in terms of the drivers around us who are just going to fall back, it's not the end of the world, but I was hoping we'd be able to make it. Okay, well, Schumacher will do an initial run on the worn tyres. Magnussen can do 2 runs on... I guess that's a reasonable thing. He'd be able to make it on that. Indeed, time to watch them spin out for the last, penultimate race. As I said in the sort of pre-intro, my favourite circuit. Let's see.
Radio check.
The initial run then. And this time we'll actually have an onboard. I probably didn't mean to do that exactly. Is that... Magnussen ahead of Schumacher. Well, I mean, slipstream. That's clearly the plan here. Whoops. Oh well. Let's then go for onboard with Schumacher, because why not? Because we're just going to watch Magnussen just get slowly away from us here. So this is all flat out here. This is... Oh wow, we got slipstream here. This is going to be really interfering with everybody's race, I think. Alright. Through the center S's, downhill to the second major overtaking point on the track. I mean, this might be helping Schumacher out here. This bit's going to hurt. From the technical point of the track, and now the only real corner that matters, this one into this one. You get this corner right, and you're flat out here to the end. Long straight, all of the power, and... I mean, honestly, that was a 10th off of Magnussen's pace, and we did a 109.6. That doesn't seem bad. Maybe having them immediately after each other wasn't the worst thing in the world. We're still behind Bottas, though. But then Magnussen was on... No, Magnussen was on new tyres. Schumacher was on scrubbed. Well, we'll see. We want an improvement anyway, but at the moment, that's not a bad opening lap. Just want to get ahead of Bottas. I'm surprised that Bottas is going so far up the grid. That's potentially a problem for us. Indeed! Running into walls, though, is exactly what we want to be doing. Let's send out Schumacher. Send out Magnussen. Okay. Second thing then, we're going to follow Magnussen around for his lap. Top 10 would be lovely, especially with all the grid drops that give us good starting position, potentially allow us to stay with the pace runners and gain some more points. We don't need too much to secure 4th place, but we do need to be beating the Alpines. We do need to be beating Bottas. If Bottas is scoring well, that's a problem for us, really. But let's see. So, current pace, we are down to 10th with Schumacher, 8th with Magnussen. Checkered flag. Schumacher has dropped to 11th. Magnussen's down to 10th. I mean, I'm hoping next year's car's good. If it's not, I'm going to be really disappointed. We've done no development since... I mean, the early European season? I know we definitely did some stuff after Monaco, but I think Monaco was the time we were throwing everything on the car for Monaco, and we may have had a few upgrades since then, but basically second half of the season, we've done nothing but development. Either way, we have got Magnussen through to Q3. It's always going to be tricky for Schumacher, but he's going to start higher up the grid. There are various cars with engine penalties, including Bottas. That's the one plus point. The reason Bottas is fast is he's got a new engine. That's got to be it. Okay. Also, fully wet race. Alright, we have one tyre for this, so we're going to go on the scrubs and see what happens. It might be worth us saving that new soft tyre, but honestly, given if it's a full wet race, we might not ever have a chance to use it. So we'll see what we can do for timing. But yeah, I genuinely love this circuit. It looks really easy and is deceptively... It has a deceptively high skill ceiling. Also, that is going to be Hamilton interfering with Magnussen's initial run. Although he did get out of the way a little bit. Yep. Get this corner right, and off you go. 109.7, so that's slower than we were managing, but again, we're on scrub tyres at the moment. Okay. Full power run then, Magnussen. Let's see what we can do. Alonso was interfered with. Hamilton was interfered with. Bottas and Zhou both in the top 10 initially. So, yeah, problems potentially for us. Alright, can Magnussen get any further up this grid? Actually, on that, I assume Hamilton and Alonso can both go faster than that, so can we get above P10? Okay, green in Sector 1. This is the part of a circuit that should suit us. Green in Sector 2, and literally one elongated corner and a flat out. We are currently 9th. Are we going to jump Zhou? We are going to jump Zhou. So we're between the Alfa Romeos at the moment. Although Bottas has a penalty. So technically we are best of the rest, which is where we want to be. And now we're going to find out how much weather there is around here. And the answer is all of it.
The time has come to fight.
Okay. The race then. Good news! It's going to be soft until it becomes very, very wet, and then it might dry out towards the end. Okay. That's a thing. I guess the real question is, do we go inters or wets? And I'm never, ever, ever sure which way round it is. But this is going to be full wet. So go full wets until we go mediums to the end. That seems like a reasonable play from this. And again, going on to the wets early might be a problem. Yanawonka, earlier is better. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I didn't show practice, but there wasn't anything wrong with practice either, so... Hello, Leon. We are debating a thing. I mean, Magnus is going to have to go very early onto these because his top tyres just don't work. We almost have to go onto mediums to start this. Yeah, wets and then mediums, or at least hards, because I don't think we've got two sets of wet tyres, do we? Alright, hard push on those until we get to about here. Move on to wets as soon as we can. And then forced mediums at the end. Okay. That I think is what we're doing here. Let's take out a lap of fuel on both cars because we're going to need that off the line. We're starting 7th and 9th actually, so doing okay there. Can we push on these soft tyres? Because if we can, we probably should be. We cannot. Okay. Okay, hard pushing on the mediums, and then we'll see. Compounds. We do have two sets of medium tyres, actually. That's going to be good for Magnussen. Is it worth us actually putting Magnussen on the mediums then? I just want to know if this is going to be quicker. So what are we looking at here? A 112, 32.23. Okay, so it's going to be quicker for us to be on mediums and push with them. So I think that's fine. We still hate Alpine. It's not that we hate Alpine. Actually, I don't mind Alpine as a team. It's just that at the moment, our main rivals are Alpine and Alfa Romeo for 4th place, and 4th place is worth more money this year because of technical regulation things. So basically, we're trying to beat the Alpines, who don't appear to be all that with us at the moment, and also the Alfa Romeos. So yeah, let's see how this goes. This could be weird.
It's a somewhat overcast.
That might end up being a pipe dream. I'm going to be honest here, and we might. Here's the thing: if we can do it, and we're not that much slower, then it works. And I've definitely seen the wets go onto sort of the inter-running tires and be fine. It depends how soon it goes from that to that. But anyway, let us begin. We are following Magnussen outside of the center S's. It's one of the best overtaking spots he got here. There is a Mercedes in our way, but we're going to get past it. Just have to stick with it through this, and then it's just, we should have a slipstream from the cars in front. We should have him. He may have the inside for the corner, but apparently that's going to be enough to keep him there anyway. Darn it. Alright. Well, this is fine. We need if Magnussen can stick with the lead group, that's going to help us out a bit anyway, so let's see. What's everybody else done in terms of strategy? Everybody pretty much in the front run is on the mediums doing what we're doing. And we have managed to overtake. Kinda. Come on.
Good job.
Hang him out to dry. Hang him out to dry. There we go. Go past Hamilton. No. You hang him out to dry. You close the door on him.
Okay, so
You do that. Good. Hamilton used to have really bad luck around this circuit. He'd almost inherited the Felipe Massa luck, but then obviously that completely swapped around the day when, you know, the Felipe Massa luck absolutely kicked home. But hey, I mean, to be fair, part of the reason I love this circuit is there are so many good and interesting things that happen here. We're also going to go to Speed 2 because, you know, Speed 2. One of my favourite races, though, was Michael Schumacher's charge in 04. Which is honestly the championship race wasn't actually that interesting once that happened, but dear God, that charge up the field. Well, only one position, because obviously there were various engine penalties and things. We actually started in 7-9. Okay, let's go neutral here. Magnussen's going to lose out on all of his thing, and that's going to be a problem in a moment.
DRS.
Yep. But the good news is we're in the front fight here, and actually we've managed to pull some gaps at this point, which is useful. And the longer we stay with the lead group, the better this is going to be for that side of things. Meanwhile, Schumacher's pushing Hamilton. So, apparently we're a top 4 car here. This group of 8 cars is just doing this thing by themselves. I love it. This is awesome. I mean, Schumacher has to accept a contract, otherwise he is definitely going. And Bottas needs to not crash and spin. That's all Bottas has to do. But at the moment, this is going extremely well for us. Obviously, Perez is gone, but that's fine. But if Schumacher can stay with the other drivers, if Magnussen can stay with the other drivers, this is going well. We're not saving fuel right now because, again, we're in a fight for, you know, the lead group. We need all the pace we can get. Also, you can go aggressive. Don't know why Schumacher's not going aggressive. We can do that, though. But obviously, while we're in this lead group, we're pulling away from Gasly. Our rivals for this 4th position, Alonso's the closest one. 3 seconds now, that gap. So that basically buys us a lap of indecision, basically. If we finish 7th and 8th with this in this current setup, we're absolutely fine. We'd love to finish higher if we could, but 7th and 8th would absolutely be fine for our objectives. It also means that almost nothing will prevent us getting 4th. Short of, you know, silliness where the Alpines or the Alfa Romeos get the top 2 positions, which should not happen. In any case, we are starting to fall a little into trouble at the moment. But we still got DRS. As long as we still got DRS, we should be able to stick with this pace. 4.2 seconds, and now it's Norris. Yeah, that's a bit of a battle going on there. Alright, Sainz gets past, but this is the bit where we're faster than most people. Unfortunately, yeah, there we go.
Oh, and Ferrari just gained a place.
This is fine. This is fine. Right. Our weather is 70% accurate. I don't know. It's going to depend on what other people do. If we can wait till wets, then it's going to be beneficial to us. If we have to go inters to wets, it's more tricky. It might be faster, though. The question is, how much faster is it going to be? Nah, to be fair, Sainz is in the championship winning car. I think Sainz is technically still in the lead of this championship. Let's just... Yeah, Carlos Sainz, despite having about 4 or 5 bad races in a row, is still technically leading this championship. So... So it's not, it's, you know, he can get past us. He doesn't have DRS though, which now means that we will get past him again. Unfortunately, oh no, we still get DRS because we're the weird way the detection zones work. Meanwhile, Mick is on Hamilton's pace, and we're just going to now start trading positions as we lose touch with the top 4. But we're still pulling away from Alonso, or the Alonso group, effectively. And actually, the fact that we now got Mick 2.5 seconds behind means we now got a sort of a rear gunner position. So, yeah, we're in business here. It means we can take a gamble with either Magnussen or Schumacher and still have a car in a good place. Yeah, Sainz will get past here.
Advance the race position.
We expect rain again.
Wet weather predicted. It's fine. We want to be close to the faster runners. It's exactly where we want to be. But wet weather is predicted. It's going to be any time now. Alright, back Magnussen goes. Through the center S's. We should have DRS down here as well. And we are through. But of course, now that look, the front 4 have gotten away from us a little bit, it's impossible for us to stay in front of Sainz. It's just DRS distance. Because I imagine Schumacher and Hamilton are also just trading positions over time. Yeah. But 5-second gap to Norris. That's the important bit. Why is Hamilton so much slower than Russell at the moment, though, is a good question. I know we got past him, so we should be interfering with his race somewhat, but... Oh, and that's a good push down there. I don't know if it's going to it's not going to be enough quite, but that was a good effort. I was like, this is a surprisingly skilled circuit in terms of, you know, really there's only 2 corners you have to get right, but you know that determines that is the skill of this track. This corner and turn 4. Through here, it's just basically attacking through the S's, which, you know, you can do. Possibly. Pit window has been entered. Now, obviously, we expected that we might have to go onto tyres here. We'll go on as long as we need to. And there we go. 6.6. Rain has begun. So we're now going to go to standard, and we're going to go to standard because there's more chance of them messing up here. So we need to be careful of this. We also need to keep an eye on whether the front runner is going to pit. What is Perez going to do? Weather is showing 0.5. Okay, I don't really want to be pausing all the time here, but I'm wondering if we pit here with Schumacher and try that strategy. I'm hoping that we'll have 5 or 6 laps and we'll do this. We'll then know after this whether it's worth doing it with Magnussen. Alright, Schumacher in early.
Okay, understood.
What's going to determine this is are people going to follow us into the pits at all? Also, if it doesn't get a lot wetter a lot faster, then we're going to have some problems. Maybe too soon. Alright, conserve and see. If it stays at 0.8, that's just really annoying for what we've just done with Schumacher here. Magnussen goes on another lap. Oh, I'm annoyed that it's still there. Because Mick's not closing up on Ricciardo. So we have just lost a ton of time here. Oh, I am annoyed now. You darn weather thing. Oh, I gotta stick with it. Start harvesting. Meanwhile, there we go. Track is now finally into the right window. We're going to go long with Magnussen and go on to wets. That's our plan here. We're going to split this off.
Okay, Mick, let's just put our head down. Copy.
Okay.
I think there's been a lockup.
Losing ground there is annoying.
Haas with an overtake.
Is anybody going to pit right now? No, they're going on to full wets as well. I think we need another lap of this, though. Maybe 3 or 4 laps. Well, we're getting some overtakes in. This is thankfully so you know. Oh, good God, everybody jumped in. Right. Open pit options, full wets. Pit this lap.
Box, Kevin, box. Copy, box.
I went too late because I wasn't paying attention. Meanwhile, there goes Schumacher. Are we ahead of Hamilton? We are not. We lost a couple of seconds. Right, now though, our track is at full wets again. So, yeah, that really hurt us. And we didn't gain any benefit out of it. It was worth us gambling though. It just didn't get wet fast enough initially and then just, ugh. Alright, let's just see where we are. Magnussen then P8 behind Alonso. Schumacher's miles down the pit lane. Okay. Well, let's go balanced. I'm assuming wet running will mean that we'll get a chance to save some things here, but oh, that's annoying. Schumacher's now in a group of cars, and that's going to be where he's probably going to have to sit for the rest of this race. Gasly and Leclerc are still in intermediate, so they're not the only ones who've done this weird, strange strategy. But let's see. Yellow in sector 2.
Look at that! They've run wide.
Ocon running wide is fine. Alonso outscoring us is a pain.
An excellent move by Haas.
Also, this is a manic bit of track right now. You can't have 5 drivers driving in formation around here. This just cannot happen. Leclerc pits again. Schumacher deploy. We need to try and just at least get to the front of this if we can. Honestly, that's terrifying. It is last place as well, just to add to things. Because that's Gasly on the inters now holding us up, because he's on the wrong tyre. Thank you. That was probably what was causing all the pain in the first place. It just wasn't trying able to get past Gasly. Alright, well, that's Schumacher's race unfortunately over. Meanwhile, we are faster than Alonso right now. Let's deploy. We need to get past him. Are within DRS, so we should manage it. It's then just a case of can we blast past him and gain a gap. Yeah, so we should be past him before the line, which is good. That's going to give us the... Oh, we're not. Darn it. We'll have DRS down here, and that's just a case of what can we do for the rest of the track. No, we won't have DRS because DRS is no longer a problem. Darn it. Alright, just force him. Force it. You're faster than this. Deploy. Alonso took out Schumacher in the last race. Let's not have that happen here. Bottas right behind. Okay, here we go. With no DRS, I think we should be good. We're already proven we're about 6/10 quicker. If we can keep that, this will be fine. Also, that's Gasly still on the inters. Alright, we'll leave Schumacher to work things out at the moment. Alonso quicker in a straight line than us, but now we got the lead and we got the gap. I think without DRS, there's no hope of him keeping up with us. Remember when we were fighting with Hamilton and Sainz? Good times. Should have stayed on the strategy they were on. If I'd have reacted with Magnussen on the right lap, actually, we probably would have been. Just lost so much time with that. Also, Alonso is not falling away from us, which is annoying. Yeah, I don't think he's actually a problem for us here, but we know he's quicker down this bit of a track, so... Poor mate. Again, it was just the fact that we decided to split the strategy off, and the inters... It wasn't wet enough for the inters. He had 2 laps where it was basically on dries, on a dry track with inters. 2 laps of that basically wrecked it. If it got to inter wet on the right thing, it didn't just stay at 0.8 for the 2 laps he was out. It might have actually worked out. Because he'd have been going at pace, the dry runners wouldn't have been. And then obviously having to make the extra stop. Yeah. And then getting caught behind Gasly. The good news is, Show and Ocon, the other drivers of the 2 teams we're fighting with, are basically with him and also not performing very well. So, it's not impossible that we can make something work with this. Right, we've got 1.3 on Alonso. We're going to start harvesting, get the battery back up. Hopefully not lose too much time doing this. And yeah, just recharge. Alright, Mick, let's get past Latifi. We don't want to be blocked by a Williams here. We are faster than the Williams, I would hope. Around the outside, and then we should be quicker through this section. Good work. So the strategy going on to inters and then wets didn't work out for Schumacher. It didn't get wet fast enough, so he was basically on a mostly dry track with inters for 2 laps, and then when it got wet really, really quickly. So everybody went on dries to wets. Basically was the way to go, which is what happened. We did with Magnussen, although a lap late with Magnussen, which is why he's no longer on the back of Sainz Hamilton. Yeah, unfortunately, Schumacher we weren't able to do much with that. To be fair, though, again, as mentioned, Ocon, Zhou are the other 2 drivers in those teams we need to worry about, and we're coping. And Magnussen is faster than Alonso. Even harvesting, he only gained about half a second back, so now we go to full attack, and we should be fine. With no... Yeah, pretty much. It would have been fine if it had gotten a bit wetter initially, but the fact it was still effectively a dry track meant that he was lapping about 4 or 5 seconds slower than he should have been for 2 laps in a row. If he was 10 seconds up the road, just in terms of random intervals here, I mean, he'd be between Ocon... It doesn't sound that good, but he wouldn't have been as bad off. Leclerc did exactly the same thing, and that's why he's down there as well. So he went inters to wets. Gasly and Tsunoda obviously did this as well, to even more problems. But hey, we're slowly getting the fuel back onto parity, which is good. That is Verstappen getting immediately past us. And that's helped us out immensely, actually, because it's put Zhou right on. Let's put Zhou in the window. We'll try and reserve some battery here if we can. Okay, let's get a full pace again. Fortunately, we've now had to let Russell get past. And we now have 2 seconds. So we're going to start conserving with Magnussen. We might as well start conserving with Schumacher as well. And another lap or so of harvesting. Just while we got this 2-second gap to Alonso, we can use up, especially as we are faster than him. I think we've proven that enough. Alright, you'll be fine with that.
Understood.
It's a little annoying, but again, it doesn't actually affect how things are going very much. We need a safety car for anything to be relevant for Schumacher at the moment. So really, we're now on Magnussen, who's just, again, doing a bit of fuel saving. Lap 30 of 71. The big question, of course, is how accurate is our weather tracking? Is it going to go to interwet? And is it going to go dry quickly? It's not that warm, so it shouldn't do if it's using that kind of logic, but...
Let's take a closer look. Now just focus on the Haas.
And now we're going to sit here and wait everybody get past us and come back in P10. Nope, he didn't quite manage that, but he did let both Alonso and Bottas through. Thank you very much, Magnussen. Never change, never change.
Was that a lock-up on the track?
Alright, might as well conserve fuel then. Well, at least we didn't go into a wall. To be fair, actually, it's a bit of an anomaly because a lot of drivers, a lot of, racing fans don't like the fact that there's runoffs and, areas everywhere. But it is one of the things that does make up the circuit. There's runoffs. You can run off almost anywhere on this track and be safe. Oh dear. Oh well. So, I think we're going to gamble on the strategy, or at least initially gamble on the strategy here. We're going to have Schumacher come in and go straight onto Inters. After that, we'll obviously go mediums to the end, but as soon as it gets to about the right threshold, that is what we're going to do. Yes. For reference, Schumacher has an 80 out of 100 in the stat that prevents the cars from, falling off the players from falling off a track. It does seem like it's 2 or 3 times every race that we have an incident. Thankfully, this didn't cause any breakage of parts. It didn't cause any major loss of position. Although, admittedly, I would argue that losing points to our 2 closest rivals for 4th position is a problem. All right, point 3. I think we saved enough now. Now the question is, can Magnussen close the gap back up? Okay. Let's spin the wheel. Schumacher onto Inters. In fact, that's what everybody else is doing. I'm assuming Verstappen's coming in for Inters, so... Although not everybody is. And importantly, Alonso and Bottas didn't, so... Although they haven't actually come around to do that. Oh yeah, they will do by the time it happens to that. Okay. Well, here we go. 3.2 is the stop. Alonso and Bottas both in. There's no point in staying out. Doesn't work for us. Shame we didn't get that a lap sooner, but that's what it is. Yellow sector. Okay. Well, we'll leave it at the moment.
That sounds like someone's gone wide.
Would be nice if we could actually have caught up a little bit, but I don't imagine we would have done. Maybe a little. Maybe a little. Okay. We're still going to push on these tyres. Schumacher now has reached fuel parity, so let's keep going. Question now is, when do we get to dries? Probably reasonably soon, and then obviously into mediums to the end. Alright, Magnussen, what's the gap to 2.1? So we gained a couple of seconds. At least to Bottas. Alonso got a bit further away from us. How about some shenanigans? I'm not sure what shenanigans I can possibly do here, because ultimately going on to dries now would be suicide. But we're definitely quicker than both Bottas and Alonso with Magnussen. Obviously, the problem we're going to have is obviously keeping the fuel loads intact, but I think we'll be fine. 1.8. Yeah, so I'd love to call the weather a lap early and just get in on those. I don't know if that's going to help or hinder, but, you know. It depends where, honestly, it starts getting to okay levels. This is where I think Motorsport Manager does this slightly better. It does still have sort of levels where it is better than not, but it just gives you a bar that slowly dips rather than, you know, an exact mathematical number that we need to check. Yeah, Magnussen, we need to conserve here. Let's actually go conserve deploy. We're going to be a bit weird with this. Try and save some fuel because you've got it, and then just push on the ERS during this bit of a track. Because we're soon going to need to be within a second. I was expecting to save a little bit more fuel than this in truth, but it's fine. Okay, 1.2 then is the gap. 0.1, I think we can go back to normal for the moment. Any gambles can make me put him onto the dries early is the only gamble, and it's not that big of one really. This is a safety car that's coming up. Yellow flag in 2, but nothing major. It's just somebody gone off the track.
Like a spin.
Verstappen actually, but he's 10 seconds in the lead, so I think he's fine really. Yeah, so Schumacher just kind of 3 seconds off that. Not able to do an awful lot here. The weather's not quite with him at this point. Good news, we joined the battle here with Magnussen. And we know we're quicker. And hopefully being behind means we can save that last little fraction of fuel we need to save. But, yeah, both these cars are quicker than us in a straight line. We're just quicker everywhere else. Problem is, the straight line's kind of significant here. Okay, 1.3. Alright, let's go early. We're going to go early with Mick onto this. Just one lap early, hopefully, but... let's see. Yeah, by the time he comes out, it's going to be basically there. So I think, actually, this might even be when we put with Magnussen. I imagine they're both going to come in as well, but, you know, we might as well take every advantage we can try and squeeze here. Track is now dry. Alright, go Mick, go. And we went into the pits early, so I think we are going to gain a slight advantage with Magnussen then over Bottas Alonso. So this is also push lap. Deploy balance. Also, we need to go standard here because that's a long way to go on these tyres. I might have wished I'd gone onto hards.
Okay. We need a back off. Yeah, okay.
But let's see what we can do here. Everybody else is coming in now. And if anybody else delays, this is going to help us. So Mick then onto his actual lap. And he's gained, I think he's gained positions at least a little bit. Up behind Ocon again. But they'll be on hard tyres, won't they? No, they're on mediums as well. Okay. So the mediums should last. Or at least we're gambling that the mediums are going to last. Magnussen then. Is he going to get out ahead of
Let's get back up to pace.
Bottas Alonso? Hopefully, hopefully, hopefully. Basically on the back of Alonso. Okay. Well, let's just hope we're quicker here.
No DRS.
Unfortunately, that is going to hurt. Because we don't have ERS down the main... Actually, no, that's Schumacher. Schumacher will be fine. Magnussen's got ERS for this straight. Okay, so this is a straight fight. We need to basically get this done and hopefully clear Alonso before something... Well, before Bottas really joins, but he already kind of has. And that's a Ferrari right behind him as well. Alright, he defends. We get DRS down this straight. We need to make this one make... This needs to work. Magnussen deploys. Hope here is that we can get the DRS off the Williams ahead of us, and that gives us an extra lap to try and push. Darn it, didn't work. Please slow him up. Please slow him up. Must clear Alonso. We have cleared Alonso. We're nowhere quicker than Alonso, but with that second gap is the important bit. 1.3. I think we might have survived, but he's going to gain time down the straight. Oh, we haven't survived. Darn it. Clearing that second is really awkward.
Haas with an overtake.
Six tenths, 5 tenths. Yeah, this is not going to be easy now. Schumacher's gone up to 13th because of the shenanigans. So, I mean, we've kind of recovered his strategy a little bit, but it's not going to matter too much unless we have a safety car or something. Ooh, VSC. I mean, conserve... well, actually, don't conserve, but battery save. Red flag. Red flag means a restart.
Let's see what happened there. Now we see the Williams here. There's the hit. And
Oh.
it's crystal clear who was in the wrong there.
I mean, clearly. He didn't get out of the way enough.
And that was a bitter blow for the team.
Yeah, that was Perez. Yeah, that was Perez's fault. I mean, to be fair, if you're in that sort of spin, you rejoin safely, but if you there's cars coming, you stay still. You don't make moves because, you know, that is going to interfere with what they do to safety. You wait until, you know, the track is clear for that. Okay. Here's the problem. Softs will not go to the end, you would think. 24 laps. We've made softs do 24 laps. Schumacher, we are gambling with softs. Magnussen does not have softs that'd make it. So he's going to have to stay on these mediums.
After a pause in this race, we are all set and ready once more. And it's lights out.
Right, we don't have any battery with either driver here, really. Or Schumacher can, I suppose. We'll still go neutral here. Full push, because we need to... Might as well use that fuel we got here. And then... Yeah, we know we'll do 24 light. I did that in practice, so I know that that's what we need to do. What's everybody else doing? Hard tyres. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Russell on mediums. Russell's going to have to stop again. We might be able to get P4 out of this. Although that does bank on keeping Leclerc behind us. Anyway, restart. Magnussen in 5th. 2 laps till DRS. Schumacher remains in 12th and is with 2 McLarens doing exactly the same soft things. We could... I mean, we need stuff to happen for us to get podium. We need to overtake a car and somehow stay in front. We need these hards to... We need our mediums to hold, I think is probably more the tricky bit here. The mediums have to hold. Alonso, though, on the harder tyres, so... Yeah, this is awkward. Oh, DRS is already active. Whoops. Thought that wasn't going to be the case, but that's 1 second gap already attained. It must be. Near enough.
Here's the replay. Now just focus on the Haas. Oh dear, dear, dear. That's far wider than they would have wanted. Oh, big lock up there.
All right, Schumacher. Battle for points. We've kind of wrecked Schumacher's strategy a couple of times here, but he's on a dodgy one because we know the softs will last if he goes easy on them, and that's what we kind of have to do here. Alternatively, we stop again, which doesn't feel like a good strategy here. So we're just going to make these softs last. The guys on mediums that can push are going to really hurt. But we got the fuel in reserve. We've got some spare battery deployment. I'm going to use that now, actually. Try and keep ourselves in the Ricciardo fight, looking forward rather than worrying about going backwards. And we genuinely don't care what this driver does anymore. Good news is, it appears as if we've cleared Ocon to a certain extent. In fact, we've cleared Ocon completely, but look at that. Okay, that's good. That gives us a shot. Especially as Norris, Ricciardo, Vettel, all doing what we're doing. So, I think we 8th is possible here. If our tyres are better off than theirs, and they are pushing harder than us, then that's a maybe. Gasly behind us doing the same thing, though. Bottas in 6th, Alonso 7th. But any points are going to be important here. Alright, come on, Shumi. Not quite. And Gasly's now on our tail. 19 laps, 83% tyre wear. Gonna be tricky. Gonna be tricky. I think what's saving us is the fact that we got the obviously the petrol consumption here. I think Magnussen's just been bugged to spin out multiple times a race. That is his second spin of the race. That one is a more significant one because while he spun out last time, there was a big gap he could go into. With this after a restart, yeah. Also, of course, remember that Alonso actually took out Schumacher in Mexico as well on a restart. So maybe the game is rigged against Haas here. We shall see. We got a double podium, and since then, there have just been curses. We just keep having incident after incident after incident with our two drivers. We've done nothing but increase their control stat, which prevents this from happening. What's that in Sector 2? It is a yellow flag. Okay.
We've just had a spin.
Okay, we might be getting past Ricciardo here. We are in 10th. I'm not sure who spun and what that's done for us. Alonso. Oh, Alonso right to the back. I did miss that. Okay, that is awesome. In one way. It means that now it's the Alfa Romeos who are the only real threat here, and we're scoring a point. As things stand. Russell, we think, is going to have to stop. So we might be able to get 2 points out of that. It depends what the gap is and whether he's actually fast enough to stay... I think Russell actually could pit and get back ahead of us, I think, there. But that is position gained. We're now at the front of this queue. If Schumacher had any battery left, this is where we'd be pushing it.
Haas with an overtake.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because of the nature of the circuit and the fact that we're not...
Great overtake.
This is the only bit of a circuit we're really amazing in. And by that point, he's already caught up to us. Oh well. And all the while this is happening, we're losing the gap to Vettel and Norris. And you do not want to be third in this chain. Being third in this chain never works out well for anybody. And then we got Ocon behind us as well. This is going to... We've got, in theory, more tyre life than Gasly, but it's not by enough. I think we're going to be marginal on whether we make it, actually, the way this is going. Meanwhile, how's Magnussen doing? Sure. You keep going. I mean, he's better off than he was a little bit, but the gamble we had basically was kind of slightly ruined by the fact we had a red flag, but he wasn't gaining that many positions anyway. No, the big problem, of course, was just Magnussen spinning from P6. Or just going wide from P6 and then falling to the back of the grid again. Oh dear. It's fine. There are points available. We just need to make this work. Gasly has gotten away, but I don't think Gasly is in the best shape to make it to the end anyway, so we might be okay. Ocon's going to be a problem if the tyres are marginal. The good news is, we've just forced P10, and I think we're in range of Gasly. Oh, come on, don't let him back through. Alright, we're going to deploy here. We're going to try and force this one. That's fine, alright. Harvest. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out for us here. Because he's got darn ERS as well. Alright, half a lap of conserving battery and then we'll go for it. Okay, no. The soft gamble's not worked.
That's a good overtake from
The only hope I've got now is that the soft runners just completely fall off the cliff and we'll scobble them up by being a bit more conservative, but we're not being that much better than looking at this Norris Gasly. Meanwhile, Magnussen's up to 13th. Which I'm sure he will accept as a great point scoring position. And the only plus point about all of this is that if the soft runners completely fall off the cliff, he might start gobbling them back up again. Stroll into the pits. That's concerning. What was Stroll on? Alright, do not let Alonso through Magnussen. Meanwhile, sitting on the back, all the soft runners still going. Let's go full conserve here because I'm genuinely concerned. So I thought Magnussen might have been questionable, and to be fair, it is. But Schumacher's on lower tyre grip and also... Yeah, Russell's in the pits. We knew that was happening. But he's going to have the tyres to get past us again anyway, so... Okay, Ricciardo into the pits. Yeah, the soft runners have given up. In theory, we can go to the end. And we're going to try. But now this is increasingly dodgy from here. Alonso did get past as well, and I don't think we got any way to really fight that back. Hello, Russell. Bye-bye, Russell. Vettel in the pits. Schumacher up to P10. P9.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
We have 7 laps to hold on to these tyres. And we're actually fighting Ocon, weirdly. I don't know why we're fighting Ocon. But we are. If we pit with Schumacher, we'd have no hope of getting any points here. If we stay out on this silly tyre strategy, we might hold on to a point or two. Bottas is up to P5. We are gonna have to genuinely perform well in Abu Dhabi, otherwise we're going to lose 4th place. Oh, safety car right now would be perfect for us, I think.
Oh, they've run wide.
Bye-bye, Russell. Just scythe past us on fresh, soft tyres. In the part of the track you don't typically overtake at. Norris pits.
For Mercedes.
There's both of the Alpines now behind us here. Yeah, this is looking more and more questionable the longer this goes on. 5 laps to go. Tyres are dead. Magnussen's probably in bad shape as well here. And really now we're fighting for that 1 point that's left. Which is going to be when Gasly has the pit. And if Gasly doesn't think he has the pit, that's just amusing. I think I have to pit, and we're currently, just trying this. Alright, P9, P10. That is 3 points. Gasly is not going to be able to catch us here. Just thinking Vettel is actually the closest one who's actually a threat to us here. 8 seconds. Drive dirty. I mean, I wish, but we're just going to have to hold on. I don't think we got the capacity to drive dirty here. We're just hoping to stay close enough to these Alpines that they can keep us safe. Light consumption, light for Magnussen. We will see how this goes here. Magnussen needs to sort of keep the pace, but also make sure that we keep Vettel behind. Albon pits. That's not a problem for us. We're going to stay out. This is going to work. We're saving 3 points here. Bottas is scoring 12. The Alpines are scoring 10. The only Russell's not going to be close enough for this. I mean, Bottas looks as if he's actually fighting a Ferrari for 4th place. That's a disaster if he gets that. Yellow flag. Vettel locks up. Good. That's going to help us because Vettel was one of the closest challenger. Magnussen go conserve. Also, don't fight, teammate. What's the intervals like? 7 seconds. We got 9 and 10. Surely got 9 and 10, unless punctures happen. I haven't seen a puncture in this game yet, but but let's see. Yeah, Magnussen is not going to be allowed to overtake Schumacher, largely because Schumacher deserves this point. This extra point, I mean. 5 seconds to hold Gasly back. 4.5. There is the run up to the line, but I think we'll be fine.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
We are fighting with both Sainz and Hamilton in this race, which is depressing. Oh dear, we're enough for spins. We would have been. I mean, we're enough for spins. I think third would have been ambitious, but we'd have been looking up rather than looking down in terms of things. We'd have been looking for fortunate chances to get there, rather than, you know, trying desperately to hold on to 4th, which is where we are at the moment.
Okay, good job, Mick.
Well, one race to go. This is closer than I would like it to be. $3.3 million in the bank. Let's see. The memorabilia room is done. Tour center's refurbished. Good news, we didn't crash. We just had two going wides, which cost positions initially, which meant he had to fight his way back through Alonso, and then even more problems. Oh dear. All right. Mick, let's give you 0.81 in control now. Not interested in entering contract talks at this time. Well, we might not be having Schumacher with our team anymore. No, that's going to happen. All right. Up and coming driver. I mean, anybody would be better, I suppose. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the stat-wise, I want this guy. He's got, unfortunately, very low growth potential, but he's got an 83 in control, which is 2 points higher than Schumacher. But then think about the mathematics of that in terms of, you know, completing races. We don't. This guy, control of 80, about the same. Has some better. It'd be weird. I'm not sure on the moment on this one. We're gonna have to hire some new drivers, obviously, after this one. But it's just. Anyway, facilities. So we can spend... Oh, darn it, we can't spend. I was hoping to be able to get a final upgrade on the board. Upgrading the team hub is a possibility. 96 days to up that. 34 days to up that. 11 days to get the memorabilia thing up, and that gives a morale boost. It gives an attractiveness boost. 11 days. But I think we're going to save our money at this point. So, final race of the season. Qualifying, and that is fine. We're not going to get the fastest lap. Qualifying and finish position streaks are still there. Let's go to the weekend. The good news is here, this circuit actually should suit us. But we are so low on spare parts in terms of, you know, in terms of actually getting through practice. This could be a case of just race until our engines explode. I'm also kind of tempted to just let the AI have this. Because, I mean, I honestly, I need to care about this to a certain extent, but equally I don't. Okay, I guess we'll do practice 1, and then we'll hope to be in a reasonable position for practice 2, 3 to just let the AI have it. Again, I'm just guessing at this point. I have no actual idea what the best thing would be around here. Hard tires. I'm also not going to go for lower grade parts here because this is the last race, so...
Ready, check.
We're hoping.
Radio's good.
I'm hoping that if we go for 2 unknowns in good cars, all I really care about is do they have a control stat above 80? I think that's the only requirement I've got of anybody I hire, if I can. Can you not crash our cars? If the answer's yes, you're on the team. Oh, dear. We'll be skipping practice 2 and 3. I'm just...
Who's running wide there?
If it wasn't crucial for those extra points of control to give them an effective 80 plus score, I mean, if I hadn't have done this, maybe they'd have crashed even more. Who knows? Who knows? Abu Dhabi, though, there are places you can crash into a wall, but again, they shouldn't. Could do, could do. Let's just spin that on. Okay. So, how is the setup here?
How's the balance?
Bad, you say?
How was the balance?
Something's weird.
Okay.
To be fair, I'm
understood.
probably not set up for the straight line speed at this point because there are quite a lot of good straights on this circuit. Okay, let's go to higher speed. Let's go to a bit more front angle for the sake of it. That was great. The other two are good. I think there's actually a reasonable exchange of where we were. Let's just go with that. Okay, we're miles out with some things. In fact, we're miles out with quite a few things. Let's go back 2 spaces, which unfortunately means our adjustments with Magnussen don't seem great. We'll head to there. We will adjust that to there, and we will bring the toe out to about there-ish. See where that is. Stay on the hard tires.
Someone's run wide. Sounds like we've had a spin.
Kev, how's the balance?
Oh wow, the car's still terrible. Alright, let's bring you in. Honestly, it was better where it was. Good to know. Alright. I mean, to be fair, I kind of figured that when we moved this the other way. Let's get that to there. Let's do another click down there, and then let's see. So that's more or less where it wants to be. That can go there. We can then do the adjustment back one click and adjust this a little more. There. That should be fine. Soft tires, and we'll use that as our initial setup for 2 and just see if the AI can improve it any further.
How is the balance? How's
There
the
we go.
balance?
That's reasonable.
It was okay.
Okay.
So that'll allow us to set up the car for the second practice session to do whatever we're doing. Oh dear. The only important thing, I guess, I should mention
Okay, you're coming back to
is
us
that we
now.
don't have any spare parts except side pods, so please only break the side pods. Okay, practice 2. Let's see. That's still miles off. Let's go 2 clicks down to there. Good, great, good thing. Do something like that. You can stick on with that. You can stick on. Oh, that's Schumacher. 23 laps. Easy and mediums. And now we're going to see whether or not the AI can handle this. Well, they put them onto soft tyres and we've got a 95 out of Schumacher, so I'm going to say the AI has got a pass for this one.
After a day of
I mean, I'm hoping I've still got soft tyres for qualifying, but it got a pass. Optimal position there. We can do some adjustments, I think. Let's go and adjust that. Honestly, that might be all I need in a weird sort of way. Something like that. I don't think it listens to me on the run plan side of things, but let's go anyway. Oh, whoops. I took the session. Darn it. I didn't mean to take this.
Good.
Can I skip the session? Can I skip it now? No. Can't. Alright, here we go then. Well, okay. I still skipped one session at least. And thankfully I don't have to do too much with this, as Schumacher's quite close to being there and it's a 95, so... I guess I could have done a tweak and tried to adjust it somewhere, but hey. It's fine.
Oh, there's a spin!
So what we need is a 5 lap from the end safety car with only the specific cars released to give us the best shot of securing some points. If we can arrange all that, everything is forgiven. Schumacher in the garage, and let's do an adjustment here if we can. I'm just gonna literally do a tweak that way, and then a correction back to there, and we'll see whether that's an improvement or not. Also noticing that no, they didn't use the medium tires I wanted them to use, so perfect. Also, I probably wanted a longer run plan. Excellent. Alright, what minor adjustments can we make here? Again, a minor wing one I think is our best bet, and then just a quick corrective measure maybe to that. We shall see. And again, medium tires, and make the run plan 22 laps, which it is. Alright, off we go. I mean, in fairness, it's not the end of the world for us to do this. I think we've already got enough points. Esteban Ocon's got a penalty, but he's the only one. Oh dear. I mean, honestly, my game plan for this series was always to try and somehow make Mick Schumacher the world champion. But honestly, it's Magnussen I've got more beef with because he should be a better driver. He should be. Based on everything about the stats, the only thing he does is he's got a slightly increased tendency to bin it into a wall. Which, to be fair, has been proven. He has had more spins and crashes than Schumacher. The fact that both of these drivers have cost me wins, podiums, and points throughout the entire back half of this season when I really needed them to outperform their car, which they've been on the fringes of doing so often. Yeah. To be fair, we get replacements, they'll probably be even worse. They won't even have the decency to be in good positions to crash out of. But that is the driver running wide, and guess what? It's Magnussen. Right on cue.
How's your read on the balance and things?
Okay, slightly worse.
Oh no, that feels really good.
Well, call you in. No sense in risking things. We'll keep Magnussen out to see if we can improve that from a 95, but we won't have time. To be fair, Magnussen's in the car next year anyway if I do nothing. We are going to have to stick with K-Mag.
Okay, understood.
It is just funny, yeah. I mean, to be fair, we haven't upgraded the car. So, there is that. Maybe if I'd have upgraded the car, they'd have broken more expensive and more valuable pieces of the car. Who knows? Maybe I should have given them that opportunity. Maybe if I'd have given them a better car, their spins wouldn't have mattered as much. Oh dear. Okay. Let's go to qualifying. So, revert to highest setting. Revert to highest setting. Okay. Here we go then. So we are using the remains of our parts here effectively. The engine is the best one, so that's fine. We could have potentially gone for new engines and things, but we're not going to do it for this race. We'd have lost positions and it just would have hurt us overall. So let's go. Qualifying 1.
Radio check, Mick.
Magnussen out, Schumacher out. Okay, is anybody going to interfere with us on this run? Yes, Sonoda, I think. Oh, I think we got out just ahead of Joe, but I think Sonoda's still going to interfere because we're in the technical section so we can counter him. I think Mick might have got away with the lap, depending on how this goes. I mean, I was about to say I'll take 6 seconds behind Sainz, but actually that's not worked out that well for us. All right, Schumacher will we'll put some new boots on. Magnussen can go out his old boots. Why is it taking you forever to do that? Did I miss something? I see the side pods replaced weirdly, but okay. Alright, we'll wait for everybody to go. Alright, and let's have an onboard with Magnussen then. At least when we get to the actual lap thing. Again, not a massive fan of this circuit. Given that you had basically an infinite blank canvas to build on, I think you could have done better. They did improve it for last year, but then last year happened. Okay, let's see. There is a yellow flag. That might be okay for us, weirdly.
They've lost control and spun.
Norris is one of the drivers who could have potentially outperformed us, so okay. Ricardo improves. Sonoda's the only real problem in the bottom 5.
Let's have a look. Now just focus on the Haas. And yes, that's where they spin out. The team are really disappointed.
Alright, Sonoda didn't improve. So Schumacher has made it into Q2. No sense in finishing the lap, although he probably did. Oh, dear. I think our only shot here of getting 4th place in the championship is that Alpine and Alfa Romeo have a bad day. I think that's basically what we're going on for the moment. Alright. Let's then just set this up. We want our 89s. New tyres for Magnussen. Start qualifying.
Ready check, Kevin.
Radio is good.
Alright, here we go. So it's going to be a bit difficult for us to get out of this session. Ricardo, again, is going to get in our way here, but I think we'll be okay if that's on the straight. Probably affected Mick a little bit. 25-2. I mean, Magnussen's on gassy space, so maybe we're okay, but... Okay, Joe's 10th. So half a second to improve for Mick. A few tenths for Magnussen. Alright, let's go. Okay, let's have half a second of improvements, please. Mick. Again, I'm hoping that he was... I think we can remove that. I think that we can... I think he was interfered in his first lap, so I think he'll be fine. Oh, dear. Come on, Magnussen. Does he get the improvement up to 10th? He gets... No, Magnussen fails to improve, which means Schumacher's almost got no hope of improving beyond it. Nope. Okay. 12th and 15th in the final race, needing points. Bottas, Alfa Romeo were scoring well. Ocon and Alonso were quick in this. Alonso finishing 10th, 11th is useful, though. Ocon also has a penalty, so he's got a fresh engine, which is why he's probably going faster.
The time has come for these.
Okay, then. So, from what I remember of this race, it's a one-stopper, and that's pretty much how we're going to play it. I guess the only thing we're going to sort of question here is whether we put Schumacher on the hard first, which I'm kind of all for, actually. We'll go hard to medium. And hope that we get safety cars and sort of things that help us out a little bit. So if we were to go aggressive on the two-stop, what would actually be the net result of that? No, we'd be slower. Okay, so hard to medium is what we're going to do with Schumacher, and then we'll go medium hards with Bottas. A little bit risky, this one, but equally, it's what we have to do. One lap of fuel out of both cars for the extra speed, and again, we're going to have to go easy on the car at some point during the race just to be on the safe side, but let's see. Any positions, any points are going to matter.
Drivers now lined up on the grid. Hold on tight. It's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Good.
And it's lights out.
And we're off. We're starting 10th with Magnussen because of penalties. Alonso's ahead of us. He's the only one we care about here, other than Joe. Oh, Bottas is in 5th, I've just realised. Jeez. All right. Position's lost. Magnussen's then fighting Hamilton behind him again. This has happened a few times.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Let's find out what other people are on. Mick's the only driver on hard tyres. Magnussen then in 11th. Schumacher in 14th. And we are going for the long and easy race if we can. That being said, Magnussen's got ahead of Hamilton. And if we can get ahead of Alonso as well, that's going to buy us even more points over one of the teams that matters. But it's going to be Alfa Romeo that are the problem team at the moment. We need the Alfa Romeos to suddenly fall off. Bottas is scoring a good number of points in those positions. I do like the change to the track there, although it doesn't really make an overtaking position because it's not a hard braking zone anymore. Although, admittedly, it's better than the sort of kinky chicane they kind of had, so... Anyway, up to P9. Are we in DRS range of the cars in front? Because we probably need to be. And I can find out, if I actually went to the intervals. Here we are. Good. Right, stay during that. Okay, this is excellent. So Leclerc's got past Bottas, so now that hopefully is going to help in reduce the number of points they're going to get. Maximizing our points, reducing the Alfa Romeo's points. All of this is good. Alpine have to outscore us by an awful lot to make any difference here. It's really the Alfa Romeos we're fighting. But if we're in DRS range of the two Alphas, then we've got a shot at maintaining some points. Okay, race has settled down a little bit. Gasly getting ahead of one of the cars is pretty good for us here. In fact, the fact that Gasly's fighting them actually is probably a more reliable indicator of anything. Gasly's a better driver than Zhou, you would imagine. Although I'm annoyed that Bottas keeps getting ahead of Leclerc. Still, Magnussen's pushing his way up the grid. This is going well. Schumacher on the hard tyres, still 14th. We're getting a lot of the unusual channels today. Still. Okay, this is going to be a problem. Magnussen's not close enough. So DRS is going to be a pain in a moment. But that's fine. We'll just change positions with Gasly and then hopefully get him back later. And hopefully Gasly's good enough to at least catch up to Zhou. We'll use their pace for a little bit. Okay. So I think what we'll do with Schumacher is start conserving a bit of petrol. Might do the same with Magnussen a little later into the race, but right now he's fighting for positions and points, so we'll keep him on full attack. Might even go light consumption with things here. I'm hoping Magnussen will have some time to go easy and try and, make up ground later. Immediately, though, Magnussen's starting to fall back a bit. Well, that's depressing. If they finish 6th and 7th, what's the point score? 2, 4... Yeah, I think 6th and 7th is enough for them if we score nothing. Okay, let's start doing the conservation. I mean, if we can keep this conservation up and still be fighting with Hamilton, who also doesn't seem to be able to get past these guys, then that's good for us as well. Down to 11th, but saving a bit of tyre life. Although I'm not going to save any more because now we need to stay with Hamilton, otherwise we're in real trouble. Yeah, let's back to pushing, please. .6 though. Well, Schumacher is kind of in his own battle in no man's land, really. But we saved a little bit of petrol. Hopefully we can now make the tyres work for us after this. Actually, this hard seemed terrible. But he is fighting with soft runners, though, so it makes sense that they're just getting past him. And maybe we'll have options if there is a safety car. Meanwhile, we are back on the back of this train. Hamilton now at the front of this, so this actually is going to help us a bit because it might mean that this train catches up to the Bottas train if we're all on Hamilton's pace. Being said, 48 laps to go. Currently, we are going to finish 5th. Norris overtakes Tsunoda. Schumacher's down into 17th, but again, we are going a little easier on his tyres. I think we can afford to not do that anymore. Again, plan was go late as we can, but it's currently okay, I think. Also, that is... I was about to say there seems to be a gap in the middle of that, but I think Gasly's going to be okay to just stick with Zhou, and Zhou hopefully will be using Hamilton's space now. So now, can this train go any faster? Not at the moment. How's Shimi doing? He's in range of Ricciardo on, obviously, harder tyres, so... yeah, it's working. I am a little concerned that the fuel loads, so I think we might have to start conserving with both now, because it's just not... we're not managing it well enough. The downside is, I guess, whether Magnussen stays with them doing this. So we'll keep a close eye on it. But we do need to save some petrol. Yeah, so Hamilton's just left this train behind, but ultimately we just need to get Zhou out of that 8th position. Hamilton re-overtaking it, going to 7th, 6th, I think might give us enough points, especially if Zhou doesn't finish 8th. Again, it's nothing to do with us, it's just, you know, if they don't score 10 points, they're not going to get past us. If we have the same points, we do win, because I think we have a better position, we have a 2nd place. So it prioritizes that if there is a tie. Okay, so that's a quarter of the fuel load saved in about 2.5, 3 laps. Or a quarter of the save we need to make. Still right behind Gasly. Waiting for the scrambling in off-season. Please come work for me, I have cookies. Yeah, that's going to be fun. We'll see who we end up getting, but, you know. Maybe we'll just have to use our reserve driver and, unfortunately, Magnussen, because he is on contract for next season. He's staying with us regardless, unless we get rid of him. But if Schumacher's not interested in talks, Schumacher's not interested in talks. I mean, to be fair, if the worst comes to it, I will take both of these drivers on for next year. But we probably would be much better off changing one or either of them, or both. Anyway, saving fuel is not actually costing us any time here, so this is all to the good. What are the other drivers on? So we have a couple of soft runners here. So they're going to go on to... They're doing a 2-stop. We're doing a 1-stop. So really, this is helping us out a little bit. But let's see. Sainz pits. Is Sainz going to come out in front of this battle or behind it? Sainz is going to come out in the middle of it. Okay, I think this is where we go back to medium. We just push on a bit more. Might do the same with Schumacher now that the pit stops are starting to happen. Yeah, we can get Schumacher down to 0.00 anytime here. Now we just need to try and keep things going as they are here. We also do not want to lose the gap to Gasly, although his tyres are going to be... It does seem really wide. Bits of it are. It's still not been designed very well for overtakes, though. All right, now we need to deploy a bit more because Alonso's got Sainz in front of him. He's going to have a better thing towing him along. If we're not close enough, then that's going to push Alonso away from us here. And yep, that's exactly what's happening. He's got DRS, we don't, and he's now going to be on Sainz's pace. That is abysmal. All right, let's conserve. We're winning this by having one less pit stop than everybody else. That's how we win. Schumacher up to P12. Tsunoda behind is on the soft tyres. Okay. Good news is Schumacher's going to be ahead of Zhou and Gasly and might be able to slow them up. Let's also start harvesting with you then. Russell pits. Russell also is going to get past Alonso and give him additional DRS assistance. Yep, that's exactly what's about to happen. And if we get Magnussen to 0.4, then I think we're safe for the rest of the race. But while he's on his own... Yeah, see, Alonso fighting with Russell just means he's going at a faster pace than we are. He's pulled 4 seconds out from us here. We were right behind him at one point. Bottas is in P3. I don't think he's going to remain there, but that's a real big concern that he's there. Also, one of my cats is being cute. Hello. Yes, I'm looking at you. I said you were being cute. Anyway, now that our race is slowly becoming ruined, let's have a look at what Mick's doing. So, still behind Ricciardo, who's on the mediums. So, everybody else is doing a medium, hard, medium, for the most part. Well, that seems to be the main strategy that's being used. Question now is, are we going to close in on Alonso now that he doesn't have that that DRS train ahead of him? And also, what is Bottas doing in P2? We even did not score anything. Just, what are you doing here? Stop it! Get out of there! Please get out of there! Oh dear. Okay, Magnus is apparently in his pit window. We can actually go aggressive here, and I think what we're going to do to try and just ease things off a little bit is we're going to
increase the pace a little bit.
Yeah,
increase the pace, but extend the stint a bit more. I've been in and out. Can the Alpine need to basically be doing what... For Alpine to overtake us, they need to be doing what Bottas is doing, effectively. They're behind us by quite a lot more points than everybody else. So let's go to the constructors. As it stands, Alfa Romeo is scoring 15 points. We're scoring 2. Alpine is scoring 4. So at the moment, we are 5th by 2 points. This is why it's so scary for me that Bottas is in 3rd. Because if he's genuinely fighting for any kind of high-up position, then we're in trouble. If he falls down to 6th or 7th, I think we're fine. But, yeah. We basically need our one stop to give us so many positions, basically. So much of an advantage. Mick also needs to hold up Zhou. Alonso pits. We're going to go long and try and make the hard strategy work better for us, I think, at this point. I think also we're going to standard on these. We might pit in early. We'll see. Honestly, he is on his way out, but we might still rehire him. We'll see how it goes. He does have a higher control stat. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I saw yellow. Obviously, if this was a red flag, a yellow safety car, yellow flag, red flag situation, this is perfect for us because we basically get cheap pit stops on everybody and be on our tyres to the end. A safety car in about 6 laps' time would be perfect. Although not for Schumacher, admittingly. Schumacher needs it to happen on 35. Bottas pits. Where is Bottas coming out? Okay, pit window entered. So Bottas is coming up behind Magnussen. He's a pit stop ahead of us. I mean, he's on fresh tyres. This is not unexpected. Oh, yeah. We will finish 6th. That was the team goal. My personal goal, though, especially since it's now worth more money, was 4th. All right. So the plan is stick behind Bottas, use his pace for a bit, and hope that... honestly, hope that the other drivers in the top 3 teams just get ahead of him, in truth. If Bottas finishes 7th, I think we're safe. Alright, that's Hamilton. We were fighting with Hamilton at one point. Declare pits. Alright, I think we're... Well, one more lap. We will go the one more lap, actually. And conserve. I don't mind if he gets past and we just take DRS down here. That'd be fine. Although, admittingly, he got the DRS, but you know. Still fine.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
So Schumacher has now been overtaken by Zhou, Alonso, and Gasly, so he's not been holding him up that much. But again, we have one pit stop to the end. We're going to go on to mediums before they do. Hopefully the offset's going to be in our favour. Hopefully something happens to give Schumacher a bit of a send-off here. Good news is, Leclerc going wide means that we now use his pace. So pit stop options, hard tyres to the end.
Box.
Box.
Yep, box. And if possible, save that last bit of fuel. Actually, we shouldn't need to. 0.1. We'll be fine. Alright, around we go. We'll have DRS for the straight. Okay. Magnussen in for his one and only pit stop. And to be fair, if we consider the things here, we should be on faster tyres, although not massively faster than Leclerc's. We're hoping the offset is going to pay dividends for us here, basically. We're especially hoping that Schumacher can do something. Honestly, just stick with Gasly's pace for the moment would be good enough. Alright, let's have a fast pit stop. Sub 3 seconds, please. 3.1. That's depressingly probably their best pit stop.
Look at that! They've run wide.
And we come out right behind Ocon, who is on his own, and we're on fresh tyres. We're going to the end on these, and in theory, we can. So our race now begins.
Haas with an overtake there.
So Magnussen 8 seconds behind Schumacher on track, but we're going to go onto the mediums in a number of laps. Thankfully, we've been able to extend our strategy a little bit here, so that's worked out a bit. So let's extend by a couple of laps, just because we are that over target at the moment. And that means we can just go on mediums and have no problems. The downside is, of course, how much slower Schumacher's going to be doing this. But we actually have excess petrol in the car, so let's start burning some of it. And the longer we can stay on Gasly's pace, who's on, you know, better hard tyres, the better this is going to be for us overall. We're going to pit before Gasly, we're going to go faster than him on the new tyres, we will be ahead of Gasly. It might mean that Schumacher's in the points when it's all sorts itself out. Meanwhile, Magnussen obviously in a back and forth battle here, and that's not necessarily where we want to be, but it's where we are. Good news, Bottas 6th, Zhou 8th, us scoring no points, would currently have us lose by a point. But if we get that 1 point, we have a second place finish in our performance record. I don't think Alfa Romeo do, so we would win if it was a tie. So basically, 6th and 8th with us scoring 1 is good enough. Sector 2. Yellow flag, but nothing major. Who was that? Perez. Perez being the lead and spinning doesn't affect us at all.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Gasly running wide is fine. Really wish we could pull away from this, but it's fine.
Haas with an overtake.
Alright, 28 laps to go. Lap 37 is when we're pitting. So 7 more laps for Schumacher on these tyres. It's a little questionable, but it is working for us at the moment. Yeah, if we sneak Schumacher into the points, Magnussen's going to be ahead of Schumacher, so those few points could matter. We hope Leclerc gets ahead of Bottas, because that also gives us the win. If they are 7th, 8th, then I don't think that's enough points. So, also fastest lapper is a consideration, I guess, but, you know, they're not going to manage those. We're not either, I don't think, but no need to mention that. Meanwhile, Magnussen's still got Ocon all over him. I think we might have to focus a bit more on straight line speed when we actually get to next season. I think I've already kind of been doing that, but, you know, it's something that is hurting us a little. Speaking of, I think Schumacher's lost the toe, so yeah, he has lost the toe. Well, let's see. I was about to say, a safety car about now-ish is fine for Schumacher.
Someone spun out.
Sonoda's far behind us on track, so that's not relevant. But yeah, losing Gasly now means we're just second a lap slower. In fact, yeah, Ocon and Magnussen are going to close in and secure that position, aren't they? Could we go early? We could. But by going early here, we're actually setting ourselves up to have a better medium stint. Meanwhile, how are other people's tyres doing? Everybody's on the hards here. You'd think they have to stop again. We're certainly hoping they do, otherwise the strategy is kind of absolutely abysmal. But... Alright, Magnussen clears. Let's have Schumacher not fight our teammate, because that's about to become relevant. We're on a different strategy. Should be okay. Okay, pit window entered. And if we can stay with the teammate, that'll be fine, but I don't think that's necessarily the expectation here. Meanwhile, these hards have lasted really well. I think anybody in the 70s could probably make it to the end if they needed to. That includes, unfortunately, Bottas. Perez and Sainz, Russell you'd expect to have to stop. Joe Gasly, Ocon should have to stop. Magnussen won't, but... Alright, let's go harvesting with Schumacher. We're going to try and make a bit of a blitz lap once we get out of this one.
Haas with an overtake there. That's a good overtake from Alpine.
Yep, that duel continues. Norris is closing in. Alright, so this is basically the lap we want to do it. So let's get aggressive. And let's pit for mediums. Mediums to the end.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Leclerc closing in on Bottas, so that's helping our sort of game plan here.
Alpine just advanced.
Yes, this duel is going to keep going until Ocon leaves, but, you know. Alright, fast pit stop for Schumacher, please. And then we need to remember to put him back onto mediums. So we've gone a lap earlier than we were necessarily planning, but I think this is needed at this point. Okay, so fresh mediums. We're in the lead. Let's go for a deploy push lap here. Try and gain some additional pace into this car and see. Because I think now that Stroll coming in probably is an indicator that other drivers on sort of a two-stop are going to have to come in very soon anyway. So hopefully, as I say, sequencing is going to help us a bit. Zhou and Gasly 7.5 seconds up the road of Magnussen. Both of them having to stop again with Alonso. Tricky. But it's fine. Okay, good news. Schumacher gained that 1.7 out of Tsunoda, so he doesn't have to worry about that nonsense. And hopefully now he's just going to start eating up this gap. At least to... I pit him one lap earlier and there's a crash. Alright. Who was it? Incident. Safety car. God!
Safety car, safety car.
Oh, actually, that might be okay with us.
Who's that just crashed?
Alonso and Zhou took each other out.
Take a look now. Now watch this. Here's Alonso's car.
Well, I mean, that is an Alfa Romeo and an Alpine crashing and taking each other out. I am okay with that, except that, you know, we wanted it to be Bottas. But that's the Alpine. Those are two chasing us. There's less chance of them scoring double points now. And if we get the pit lane in, we get onto the mediums in time, we are going to be ahead of Ocon, hopefully. And also, the leaders didn't pit. Bottas didn't pit. Oh dear. These 6 drivers are in trouble. Schumacher obviously has already pitted, so there's no need to do anything here other than harvest, which I should really have had him on earlier. Oh dear. It's kind of not worked out for Schumacher, but equally, what else could we have done? Not much. Oh, Ocon got ahead of us in the pit lane. God darn it. Oh well. Let's see how this goes. Spin on and find out where we are. So Magnussen 11th, Schumacher 12th.
Available if you need it.
Copy.
Leaders have caught up. But yeah, Bottas is not going to stay 6th. 7th, rather.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
Safety car is in this lap.
If safety car's ending this lap and we're not on the back of it, we need to actually push. Okay, Mags has got there. Schumacher, though, is going to be in trouble. No, I think we just about made it. Phew, okay. There we go. Safety car restart then. Let's go deploy with both. Let's make sure you don't have anything still on. And we've got a push lap, I think, with both drivers. All right, let's start gaining up the positions here. Here we go. Lapped cars in the way is going to be a problem. Magnussen up to P10 on merit, and I think that'll be okay. Mick Schumacher on in 12th. That's the other Alpine behind there. So, okay, Bottas is fighting for 4th, but his tyres should be his tyres aren't going to last, you'd think, unless they decide to gamble it, in which case that's real probably. That's really bad for us, but we're scoring points. We're scoring points. We're in the window. We're on better tyres. We can overtake the hard runners. At least get ourselves 3 or 4 points ourselves. Magnussen 10, Schumacher 11th. Let's have Schumacher ease off just because his tyres are slightly more worn than Magnussen's. Okay, here we go. Can you please get past Bottas?
DRS enabled.
This should help.
DRS enabled.
This should help. Okay. Here we go. So, train of cars behind Norris, who is on 1 hards, I believe. And he currently represents the highest positions we can probably get to, reasonably. Unless the other drivers have to stop, of course. Okay, that's good. Magnussen straight through Norris. We're on the back of Gasly. Hopefully he will use his pace. Gasly, I think, is faster than Norris. I think that means we've got P9, which is 2 points. 2 points secured. Bottas has dropped down to 5th. And we hope he continues to. He's got the lowest tyre wear of any of the hard runners at the top. So, yeah, I'm okay with this. Next up, though, can we get past Gasly? Gasly doesn't have DRS, so I think we're going to be in a back-and-forth battle with him for the rest of this race. But that is position gained. So now we are scoring 5 points, because Schumacher's also got past Norris. I think we're also now on even running with Magnussen. So, okay. Our tyres are a little worn, but I think we'll blast. Only 11 laps to go. Honestly, if I had hards at 58%, I'd be risking it, I think. Question is, can we keep the 5 points, or will it be 2 points? Again, losing both positions is what I'm thinking here, which kind of happened that point there, but we'll get that back, you'd think. How much better would this have overall been? Well, probably not that much better in truth. Also, we are not falling away from the drivers on those tyres. We're actually going faster than Leclerc right now. So that's encouraging. If the hard runners aren't going as fast as we would expect, then higher positions are possible, and including getting back ahead of Bottas. If we overtake Bottas, we will secure it regardless. What has happened?
Did somebody spin
Ocon
out
spun.
there?
Ocon doesn't bother us, I don't think. Okay. Bottas now in 7th place. We are going faster than Bottas as well. Currently, 6-4. We are second in the championship. In fact, no, 6-5. 6-5 secures 4th. This is everything going to plan. Yeah, absolutely. So the plan, ultimately, just pausing it for emphasis here, Alfa Romeo, the one driver that is left, versus Haas for 4th place. Bottas is the representative of them who's been running in the top 4 for most of this race. But now the sort of strategy is rolling away from them. They're on worse tyres that are dying versus us at the moment. Although our tyres are equally not amazing. That being said, we're now on the back of this train, so goodness knows what happens from here. We need Leclerc to be ahead of Bottas. We need something here. And again, I'm going easier on the tyres because 8 laps to go, 60%. It's a bit questionable. I'm just hoping that Bottas has to pit. If Bottas pits, we've got it. We got 4th place. The higher rewards that come with 4th place as well. The fact that Show is out also helps us out a great deal. The fact that I think if Bottas finishes 7th, it can't happen regardless. And he's now down to 8th. I think we're about to have this. So currently Alfa Romeo scoring 4, Haas scoring 3. But
And McLaren with a great overtake.
well, Schumacher just lost a couple of positions there. I know we're going easy on him, but then I probably don't need to. No, okay, we can't risk that. Got to keep going. We might want that point. I mean, to be fair, I think it's fine either way, but we want that point. Now that there's no risk of Bottas scoring in the upper point-scoring positions, maybe. I mean, to be fair, he's one of the people we think are going to pit anyway. Magnussen might be P5, the way this is at the moment. At the moment, though, P8 and ahead of Bottas is enough to definitely give us the 4th place in the championship. And And through we go. There, their tyres to last 5 more laps is questionable. Actually, I'm fairly certain that, yeah, he's just... Well, he's going to have DRS to catch us up again, but the car does not seem quick at the moment. Mind you, it's a little hard to tell at double speed with this. But he's not challenging us down the main straight. And I think he did have DRS, which... Mind you, so do we, so... big lunge up the inside. And nope, we don't keep the position. We're also running out of excess fuel to push out of the car. So we might lose pace ourselves in a couple of laps' time. Our tyres, in theory, are okay, but I'm going to go a little easier now. Just trying to make sure of things. Four laps. Yeah, so the hard runners are going to stay out. This is what this tells me here. They're not coming in. The good news is we are ahead of Bottas. So regardless, we will take P4 in the championship as long as that remains the case. It just means that we might not actually gain any bonus positions. And we might be fighting Gasly for things here. There's a yellow in sector 3, but that's not anything that appears to have been affecting. Nope.
Is that a lockup?
Russell locking up is not a problem for us. We have, though, cleared Leclerc. So hard tyres on 40-ish%, not great. Additional points for Haas. Currently in the Constructors, we are earning 6. Alfa Romeo are earning 2. 3 laps to go. Magnussen up to 6th position, having got past Gasly. 2 laps to go. How close is Hamilton? Can we close Hamilton before the end of this? Oh, we're 9 seconds behind Hamilton. We're not doing that. Not unless he falls off the cliff and has to, you know, has to stop. We've had a crash on track. Who's crashed? Is this a safety car? Is this a thing?
There's been a crash.
Tsunoda. Tsunoda was behind us. Doesn't apply. Or at least doesn't affect how we're doing. Alright. Let's see if Schumacher can earn a point. Meanwhile, we've held off at the moment. Let's go for some deployment from Magnussen here. Schumacher did gain some positions up to 10. Perez is on his last lap.
Good job.
Alright, we can now go push for the last lap.
No more lifting coast. Copy.
Yep, charge to the end. Alright. So, Magnussen enters the final lap. Let's go aggressive. Let's go aggressive. We want 6th and 10th. 6th and 10th would be a good final position for this race. In terms of how our season has gone. It would be appropriate. Let's deploy. Give ourselves every chance of beating him down into a second thing here. He's going to make a dive, but I think we got that covered. Deploy with Schumacher. He's got to gain a position. Ah, darn it. Come on. Second DRS straight. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Come on, Schumi. We got the inside. He's got the inside. We got DRS. We got some push. On the outside, but we're still fighting.
First.
Inside for this corner. Come on. Make it work. I know you've got an empty battery. We don't care about that. I know you got an empty battery. That's fine. You're ahead. Inside for the last corner. Ah, I think Schumacher's going to fall. Ah. No, Schumacher's just lost position at the end. It was a good fight. Gasly also overtook Magnussen at the end as well. Doesn't matter though. Bottas finished 9th. From scaring to score a podium, he's finished 9th.
Full switch off procedure when you're stopped.
And our season 1 is officially done.
Very sorry about that.
Final results. 6 points earned for Magnussen, 2 points earned for Alfa Romeo. Haas finish 4th overall in the championship. 3 podiums, 4 fastest laps. We finished 22 races out of 22, which sounds a bit strange because I know we've had some drivers not finish, including on the start-finish straight of Imola. Very early on. Let's not talk about that too much. New development point for Magnussen. Guess what that's going in. 4 million for the final race of the season. And now we need to decide who we're hiring for next year. SidePod's research is done. Okay. 22 season results. So we finished 8th and 12th. Midfield victory. Also, we have properly scouted a driver. Okay. Let's go for this. $1.5 million. We will give him $1 million. Actually, no, we'll give him 999. We're going to be fancy about this. God damn you, Mick. All right. We are going to renew the contract. Mick is staying on the team. Going to add a point of control to you. Okay. If Fittipaldi was any good, I'd have kept him, but you know. Alright. Let's now see about replacing Magnussen. So in terms of drivers we've actually scouted, we obviously have Mr. Albon. So, so a 10-point control increase here is how we look. Honestly, I think that might be enough to us to think about doing the offer here. Do we know what he's on? We don't. Do we know what Magnussen's on? Probably. So Magnussen is on 4.3 and 44k for 6th. It would cost us a lot of money to break the contract here, but honestly, I am fed up of Magnussen, and I think, honestly, we can do better. Albon seems like the pick, unless we go for a newer driver, of course. If we go for a newer driver, it means Mick Schumacher's the number 1 in nature, and we are going for the championship with Mick. But equally, if we're going to replace it, I need to have somebody who has that level of control. So you don't have it, so you're out. You do have it, but it's only 83. You would have it, you'd be a much worse driver. And you have a high growth potential, so I'm kind of thinking we might be going for Dennis here. Let's go for a 2-season, 650. We'll give you... This is going to be expensive, but honestly, it might save us some... It'll save us money overall. 75 if you can finish in the top 7. Done. We have replaced Magnussen with a driver with a high level of growth potential. A lot of his points are going to go into that. Good. Right, we have one other thing we need to do, actually. First off, actually, let's just look at our development thing and just go side pod improvement. And aerodynamics, we're going to improve our cooling. Race engineer, more pit crew management. Thank you very much. I'm also going to swap the drivers over. We might be replacing you anyway. I'm just seeing how this goes. Okay. Let's then see if we can do a thing. Oh, also, we should probably... we need to do a new project, actually, before we go any further, much further. But again, trying to do some things. So these are the ones we scouted. So if we compare you to you, basically we're gaining pit crew management and we're getting feedback. So I'm kind of inclined to try for this. What I will do, though, is find out what you've actually... What are we paying our other engineer? Because I think this is what is going to determine things. So 980 is what we're paying our other engineer. That is 78. We're going to use that as our baseline for this. Engineering team... Four seasons. 1.1. Starting bonus of 1.5. And we'll see whether this happens. Good. All right, we have a new member of the team here. We have a new... Yeah, everything's going well. Do we have any improvement points? Not really, but hey, pit crew management now increased, so we might actually have some people who can actually, you know, do pit stops properly, because our scores are not great, and there's no obvious way to improve this. Still, what can you do? Alright, let's go to car parts development, and let's start a new research project. We can only do research projects now. Front wing, we have a lot of our time remaining, so I'm just going to use everything on this. And we're going to go for research focus on low speed cornering, because it has clearly been what we've needed, and also airflow at the front. Won't reach completion date. Okay. So we do need one more research thing, but we have to get all of them done before the end of the year, apparently. So what we can do is we can remove 3 engineers from this, which gives us 6 engineers now, and hopefully now that will allow us to get this done in time. If not, we're going to have to hope that we can get something done to, you know, give us the maximum benefit out of this one. Research focus, low speed, and airflow sensitivity. And Yeah. Okay, so we can't do a front wing. Chassis? It feels like this should take longer, but let's find out. If it turns out I can't do anything, this is going to be a little awkward, just in terms of the timings of it. Drag reduction and that. Development settings. This will get done in time. Okay. Research complete. Hooray, the car will go a meter a minute faster. That might matter. We're going to research a new part. Let's go side pods. We've used up all of our thing, but let's just do this anyway. And again, focusing on all the areas that we can have a reduction for. I only have one spare engineer, and it might be done in time if I actually reallocate. So let's go and just quickly do that. Current projects. See, now I'm trying to do some balancing to make sure things work. So even if we left this to one engineer, it would be done in time. So we're going to leave it to one person to fix the chassis for us. We're going to have 5 people with no equipment working on our side pods. As long as engine cooling doesn't actually go down from this, this is all good. It did! Alright, we have maxed out our potential research for next year. Alright, what does the board think of my performance? We scored half of our achievement of getting podiums in a quarter of the races, which is quite fun. Based on team's performance, highest driver position attained. Updated the team rating. Best driver position 12, Schumacher. Yeah, that was definitely the way it worked out. And our rating apparently has not increased at all. Our team rating has not increased at all. Pit crew performances. With Nacy's approaching, away my seeing low performance. Changed focus. Dear God, get those tyre changes done. That's all I care about at this point. Alright, new regulations. Okay, so there's no fast as that bonus point anymore. And, yep, top 4 teams score well. That might actually mean we didn't actually get an increase. Not sure. Well, let's carry on anyway. Yeah, we did research Valtteri Bottas. To be fair, that was an option. But we want Schumacher as our top driver. Because we're silly. Staff changes. Technical chief will be vacant. Hello. Would you like to renew your contract? If we increase your salary to 3.2 and give you 5 seasons. And a lump sum bonus of that. Please accept. Because otherwise I'm going to have to go through some shenanigans. Okay. I mean, we could have looked at somebody better, but I hadn't even thought about scouting for somebody like that, so that's fine. Okay, all good. All good, all good, all good. Alright, drivers. Research complete on the suspension. Now, can we fit another development part in this? So we literally just got a suspension thing upgrade. Let's see if we can do another one. We actually can fit a suspension thing in. Okay. Let's focus on low speed. It's not doing that much, really. And drag reduction. Yeah, no wind tunnel hours left, unfortunately. And just get whatever remaining engineers we have on this. I mean, it's a few percentile points more, so might as well do it. And then we'll see if this actually makes a difference next time on Saturday. It might not. Alright, chassis research complete. There's no way we can get anything more done in this time, so that's fine. We don't care about our scouts, but hey, we got some airflow percentile increases. Let's have a look at our current projects, actually, rather than do that. It's not going to matter. We can't go beyond the end of the year anyway, so... Immediately crashing this point separate. Here's the thing. He's not going to do that, and the reason he's not going to do that is he already has a control stat that's better than Magnussen. 81 out of 100. I mean, even Schumacher only has 81 out of 100, so he's going to crash just as often as Schumacher does right now. Knew I should have gone for Bottas. Okay. Suspension is done. We gained a couple of extra percent there. CFD's in poor condition. We will... Oh, actually, we could fully upgrade it. Let's upgrade it. Yeah, no refurbishment. We're just going to fully upgrade the thing. Side pods are done. So that is all of our parts now researched. And, I mean, this percentile increase was even lower than most of the others. But, hey, that's what happens. Suspension, side pods, and chassis were the main thing we focused on. Okay. Testing period has ended. Let's start the new season. Welcome to the new season! So, sponsor obligations. I have to choose these now, don't I? Team rating rank 7th of 10th. I think, honestly, I don't think I need to do too much more here. Maybe we could go for a bit more merchandising units. Number of race weekends, 20. Race day factory events. Emergency part purchases will be available, that's fine. 25. Number of race hospitality days. That's not giving us a lot of money in truth. Driver appearance. I mean, we kind of want Dennis to start earning a bit more than that. Honestly, I don't feel like changing any of these, if I'm being massively honest. Event days. Let's have 3 event days. Just for increase of morale. Oh, morale boost will be paused. Okay, no, actually, no. Let's not do that. No. Cancel changes to give it. Oh, fine. We've done it now. Say no. Okay, continue preseason management. So, preseason lump sum of 11 million. Income per race 4.4 million. Okay, this should be good. 6 or above is still a target. We have 2 seasons to become a podium contender. Balance overall seems decent. Not going to argue about that. Okay. So research. So this is basically what we've done to try and offset things a little bit here. So from the regulation changes, drag reduction has gone up by about 20% in those. Got some various increases in front wing stuff. Various increases in rear wing. Side pods we focused on a little bit, knowing we were going to lose some. And we did. Okay. Financial regulations. Budget remains unchanged. But obviously there's more money at stake this time. And we already know that this is kind of where we are with things. Okay. Powertrain manufacturers. Alright, so... do we still want a Ferrari engine? It is second most... We could go to the Red Bull and have a more powerful thing here. But the power loss threshold... Actually, that actually seems better. That's a better number. The fuel efficiency might be worse, though... That's the reason to go to Renault. Okay, so there's a bit of balancing going on with this. Not that I had a choice for this last time, but I think honestly we are going to just take our... we're going to take the Ferrari engines again. Because again, we're going to keep in with this. It is the most expensive one there. And while the Mercedes might be the more reliable engine. I think we're fine with how it was. So we're going to stick with Ferrari. And then we pay them money. And now we are minus 2.2 million. Yay, we have no money. Alright. New regulations in effect. Allocations announced. So 40 hours remaining, 544 wind tunnel hours overall the year. We have our first period starting now, and car development is now open. Unfortunately, we don't have any money. So I don't actually have the ability to upgrade things. Let's, though... work out a thing here. Now that we are here, let's have a look at car 1, and let's press the E button. Where are we? Gonna be honest, that might be okay. Part of the problem I've got is I don't have any money to go and upgrade things further, but we are the second fastest car in terms of outright top speed and acceleration. Acceleration absolutely top, and we still got the low speed cornering bonuses we had before. Our DRS is now awesome. We can overtake with this car. The downside is I've got no money to move any further upgrades. Projected balance. So in February we're going to have some money and we can start actually upgrading this car. The fact that I can't build parts now is really hurting. Sponsorship obligation. That'll at least get me some money, you'd hope. No. Unused scouts. Engineers. Yeah, but I don't have the ability to do anything. I would love to go and put some money into this and make our car even better than it was. But unfortunately, this costs money, and I don't have any. I've been really stuffed here, haven't I? Free money. Okay, we can do things. Thank God for that. Alright, we get to February, we can actually do things. Poor wind tunnel condition. Spend 3.2 million to refurbish it, or we just keep it as is. We've got to keep it as is. We don't have the money to do this. God darn you, this game. Suspension simulator, team hub, poor condition. You have to pay $4 million to fire a guy. That's your wages. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. New project. So, knowing where our focus is, we need top speed, we need acceleration. So we're going to focus on this a little bit. Let's put half of our wind tunnel allowance into this. And we're going to focus on drag reduction, and we're going to focus on low speed. Technically cut the DRS thing here as well, give ourselves a few bonuses across the board there. Development settings, we want to obviously rush this development because we need it in time for the first race of the season, and we will put 6 engineers on this. We're then going to design a new chassis. We're going to use most of our remaining parts. We're going to have 5 more engineers in a little bit, so hopefully this won't be entirely used up there. And we're going to focus on middle airflow and drag reduction. At least as far as just making sure that we don't lose anything on this, so that'll do fine. 4, we could rush this at a cost of 61, and I think we can afford to do this, so we're going to rush this as well. Give us more time to actually build the parts. CFD simulator is now done, so that makes our CFD better off. Oh, also development. Oh, this is our spare driver. Well done. Let's also quickly check these guys. Mick, we're going to give you an extra point of control for no reason, and we're going to give you an extra point of control again for no reason. Okay. Refurbish 3.2 million to refurbish. Jeez. I mean, we can refurbish this. This isn't costing us that much. Even this is probably fine. Okay, and then we wait for the design center to be done, because what that is going to unlock for us is the ability to go over to our cars, I think. Yep. Car parts development. Where do we do this? Warehouse? No. Engineering team. We're going to hire 5 more engineers. And because we have done that, we can now have another part being designed. So we have a rear wing, we have a chassis upgrade. Let's go for an underfloor upgrade. And we're going to use the last of our parts on this. And design focus is going to be low speed and drag reduction. A little bit into airflow sensitivity, maybe. Makes us slightly better at all of the various speed cornerings, though. We'll go with that. 5, and we don't have the funds to rush it, so this is going to be a slow one, but at least it's something we're working towards. Good news, we have all of these, so hopefully we'll have enough money to actually build some of them for the first race. When is the first race, by the way? First race of the season, Bahrain, March 24. But I mean, just having the extra engineers on cap is going to be huge for us in a lot of ways. Alright, nothing there. Team Hub is being refurbished. It's all of these that are costing us here, because this is actually affecting our ability to actually upgrade the car somewhat. But 3.2 million is a lot. Okay, we have a new chassis design. Let's get some things going. The weather... Oh no, our weather reporting is going to be less accurate. We got a desert race to start with. How much is this going to cost to actually upgrade? 600,000 to get that back online. I think I found how the game is trying to balance out the fundings. Okay. New project. New design. So let's go side pods. We don't have any spare thing for this. So this is just an attempt to get a better one here. And we're going to focus entirely on front and middle airflow. And we might as well rush the development of this. I don't think we'll get it done in time, but this is only a sort of minor upgrade anyway. Alright, new manufacturing. So, let's manufacture 2. And if we go normal, they will be done in time for the first race. So, let's go. Do not damage for new chassis. Rear wing design is finished, and we have additional money. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. This is probably true. Alright, let's go for suspension now. Again, this is going to be a sort of minor upgrade here, but we're going to keep on with the focus where the car is at the moment, which is low speed and top speed. And front airflow, if it's not going to cost us points elsewhere. Sure. Okay, so we have 6, and this will be done before we actually get there. I'm thinking we might have a bit of a scramble to try and get everything sort of built in time, but at the moment it seems to be working okay for us here. There's a realization. Let's go and refurbish the wind tunnel because that actually is going to be relevant for upgrades. I think this is fine. The races are terror missions. Kind of! That's what spreadsheet management's all about. And 600, we're going to repair the weather center. Board performance check-in. We've done nothing. Apart from build things. Okay, rear wings. Let's build 4 of these just so we got them in reserve. Hold on, just double check a thing here. Yeah, it is rear wing 2 that's being manufactured. If we edit the project here and build 2 more, again, mostly just so we have them in reserve. Because chassis is the thing that tends to break with cars, especially press chassis in the front wing. Team Hub refurbished. Alright, new testing period has started up. So what this now means is that we have got more wind tunnel allowance. What are our projects and when are they going to be finished? That's a manufacturing process. Let's adjust here a little bit so we can... No, actually, that's going to be just done in time for the race at the moment. Okay, I guess it's not the end of the world here. I'm just looking at trying to maximize our wind tunnel allowance, but there's no point in doing that until we get some things done. Right, rear wings built. Yep, good. So we'll apply the upgrades and see exactly where we are on the track after that. Weather center has now been refurbished, which again, very useful for a desert race to start with. Side pods are done. Boardroom's now in... Oh dear God, no! Not the boardroom! Let's clean that up. Okay. Also, we can manufacture some side pods. If we go for a rush... If we go for an emergency build of 2 of them... Because I want to make sure we have them for the first race. So, that's them done. We can then manufacture 2 more normally to just be there or thereabouts. We are nearly out of money again, which means I don't think we're going to be able to build the new suspension parts, but it's a start. Okay, let's then make sure we have the car set up. So, new chassis online. We don't have any new front wings. We do have new rear wings. And we have new side pods. Okay. Underfloor is currently being developed. Suspension is currently being developed. And I think the only thing we haven't built at the moment is a front wing, unless I've missed my thing on this. Okay, suspension's done. But we don't have the money to actually do anything more with it, I don't think. Well, we know what this car can do. It can go really fast in a straight line, and then it can go really fast in a slow-speed corner. It just doesn't like the high-speed corners. Now, you'd think this is an area I would have actually focused on a little bit, and to be fair, I thought I did, but we have the best top speed, we have the best acceleration, we have the best slow-speed cornering. That's got to be a recipe for a good car. It's got to be, right? We can build 1 of these at a normal rate, and it won't be done in time. We also don't have the money to actually start any new things, and the race weekend's in 2 days time. Okay. Bahrain also does have slow speed corners. It also has high speed stuff as well, unfortunately. But you know what? A lot of it's straight lines. A lot of it's straight lines. And that should be good for us. We are the fastest in the purple bits. We are fastest in the red bits. We are okay, but not the best in the yellow bits. And we're faster than a other car on the grid in the green bits. So fun. But I'm going to leave this here. I'm just going to make sure I have got everything done as much as I can here. Details. Yeah. Obviously, Ferrari powertrain. We have got everything we want here. All right. I'm going to end the stream here. On Saturday, we're going to start the new season and see if Mick Schumacher can win a race. It probably won't be that easy, but that's the aim. We're going to try and get a podium at least, win the race hopefully, and then we're just going to try and keep development going for this year because we don't care about next year. Next year we're going tang. I'm probably not doing a third year of this game, but we are going to try and win the championship with Mick Schumacher in year 2, provided of course he doesn't spin out every single race. I'm looking at you. So thanks for joining me. I will catch you all on Saturday for more of this. Tomorrow I am probably going to play some Stardew. Friday I'm going to do Mahjong. Saturday I'm probably going to do... To be honest, what I'm going to do Saturday is probably do some RPG Maker games because I've actually found a site which had a lot more of them stored, which is a lot of games that even I didn't really have access to. So sort of late RPG Maker 2000 era stuff. So I might just decide to play some RPG Maker 2000 games and just see if I enjoy the start of any of them enough. A bit of nostalgia for some of the ones I've obviously played previously, but just see if there's any actually good ones that I haven't encountered before that I just fancy I actually want to play through. I mean, fair, but that's sort of how I roughly planned it. And to be fair, if the RPG Maker thing, I'm a lot likely to be a one-off. Again, it's me just talking about all the stuff and the community from 24 years ago. Jeez. Well, I say 24 years ago. It probably is 24 years ago. I'm thinking about when I actually picked it up initially. I was in middle school, so... I was in first year high school, so yeah, I think so. RPG Maker 2000 came out in 98. I'm sure it did. I might be missing things, but still, 20 plus years as definite. But hey. Alright, thanks for joining me, those